What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another dividend video. Obviously, you guys already know what stock we're going to talk about, so with that being said, let's cue the intro and get right into this one. Hey guys, thank you for watching this video. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up and subscribe. I'm putting out at least one video a week, giving you guys absolutely free content that's going to help you guys, whether it's long-term, short-term, just in finance and everything like that. So with that being said, let's jump back to the video. What's going on, everybody? Sorry if you can hear my dogs in the background. Agnc is something that I've actually looked into myself. I've seen a ton of other people talk about this and things, and this is something that they don't go over, and this is something I want to go over in this video. Is the 1 year looks great. Anything that basically crashed in 2020 looks amazing right now on a 1 year chart. And same with the year to date doesn't look as good, but it still looks good. But one thing I want to look at here is a 10 year. And the real big thing that I like to look at is the max. And we did this in other videos too. If you guys saw the PTY, the SPHD video and stuff like that, we can go on ahead and look at those and see what they look like as well. And SPHD hasn't quite recovered like we covered in the other video, but AGNC isn't even close, guys. And this is the biggest problem that I had with this company. And if it's something that you're just hoping that the dividend eventually just outruns the price of the stock, sure, you're going to eventually make money on this as long as it's still paying the regular dividend and all of that. And because now that we say that, we're going to go on to AGNC. It's per share. It's trading at about 17. Looks like it traded afterwards. Closed for the week at 17.01, which is a pretty cheap stock. It's very close to PTY. And we're going to discuss which one's better. AGNC here, the dividend history, it's 12 cents a month per share, which is pretty good. That's an 8.59 dividend yield every year, which is great. It's a great dividend yield. But again, we're going to come back to this over and over. And something that I'm going to compare it to is PTY. And why we do this is very, very simple, is because I want you guys to see that yes, this is even up 51.41% this year. Made a killing on it. But look at the overall in this monthly dividend stock. Every year it's had a crash. Yes, every year that the market has had a crash, it's fell as well, just like every other stock in the world. But it seems to make highs, and then it gets down again in 2015, and everything else, like everything else did, it fell. And then it pops back up. 2020 falls hard, and now we're almost back to those high points again. We got to get a little bit over $20 to get back to the all-time highs, but it's consistently going up in value, and that's something here that AGNC, not MC, is not doing. And that's something I think a lot of people should really actually pay attention to. And again, financials, you guys can go over this, and you guys probably aren't going to understand the financial statement. If you do, that's awesome. You're one of very few Americans. But it's not great. It's not bad. It's not great, though. And that's something that I think a lot of people are missing here. And one thing I want to go over, this is basically a REIT kind of stock. It's not technically a REIT, I don't believe. They've got a little bit of short interest here, which is like nothing. It's like 2% almost, which is pretty low. Mortgage rates, again, it depends on whether or not you should buy this stock or not. Is really going to depend on whether you think mortgage rates are going to get killed at the end of this year once the stimulus part is up and people can be evicted again. And that's something that's a very, very high belief for me. So if you look at mortgage rates numbers and things like that, which if you're like me, you do, it's not very good. It's not very confirming that, hey, I want to buy O Realty. Oh, hey, I want to buy AGNC, Investment Corporation. Things like that have to do with real estate. And that's one of those where when it comes down to it, I'm not convinced at all in buying this one because of that. Now, again, the one thing that I like to do with all of my stocks, and again, yes, you are going to get your 12-cent dividend yield or 12-cent dividend payment every single month. It seems like they're very, very consistent. They have dropped a little bit. They were at 18, they were at 16, and you guys can see those even up to 20 and even higher. But again, as the pandemic has been getting hit, it's not anymore. I think that's something that you guys all should be aware of, is when they start cutting dividends, that's when things really start hurting. And you guys can see PTY is something that I always come back to this one because it always pays the 13 cents. And before that, if you go back to even further, it paid just a little bit less. So they are actually increasing their dividend very, very slowly. So I want to go back to Agnc. And then the most important part of all of this, because I want to keep this video short, is the back test. So you guys can see here, PTY is in the blue because this has been the best performing stock, dividend stock that we have went over on this channel. And again, I am highly invested into PTY. That's a fully disclosure there. Agnc is in the red. And the problem that we're seeing is that it's just not outperforming the S&P 500. You guys know I like things that outperform the S&P 500. It may not be this year, it may not be next year, it may not be the following year. It doesn't have to be on a year-to-year basis, but it has to be averaging better than the S&P 500. Otherwise, you might as well put it in the S&P 500 and let it collect dividends and let it run. And just keep doing that. And that's what a lot of Americans do. And if you do, it's not a bad idea, except for when you have a year like this in 2020, or like last year, 2020, is when you get killed. And that's why I like PTY, because even when you were buying, if I was buying this in 2020, just so you all know, on the dips, is that it was absolutely fantastic because you're getting that monthly dividend income, and I was dripping it. So dividend reinvestment plan, that's what DRIP stands for. And every time it dropped further, I was just buying more shares. And then when everything was done and over with in like June and July, and everything started popping back up, those shares were making me unreal percentages back on my money, and they are still to this day. And that's why PTY is still the dividend king right now. Agnc, not quite. I have no money in that. I'm not convinced by it. They did outperform the S&P 500 back here, but again, that's before all this happened, and I do still believe that we are going to have some mortgage problems. And if you guys want to look up here at the numbers, you guys can pause the video. Again, we started with $10,000 on all of these. And again, if you guys want to use this portfolio visualizer.com, pops up. I did $10,000 and we put $100 extra in it every single month. And this is the result you're going to get. Again, you should never just put money into it and then never keep investing. You should invest your chunk of money that you have saved or whatever you want to do with it, and then keep averaging in. And that studies have shown that that's going to make you more money in the long run than just buying large chunks. Again, there is a video on YouTube and on my channel of how I buy long-term stocks in chunks when I do have big chunks of money, and how I do it and when I wait for it and all of that. So with that being said, guys, thank you guys for watching this video. I hope this helps somebody else out there. If you guys are interested in PTY, check out my video on PTY, and I will see you guys in the next video.